Hello and welcome to Reviews. As always, I'm Plume Noir, and I have to be honest, I think there's something wrong with me. Okay, more than the usual, but you know, I was going over some of the comics last week that I picked up, like Iron Man 2020 and the Gamerverse Spider-Man Black Cat, and I just found them kind of bland. And for example, the Iron Man 2020, they're doing this storyline where, of course, Tony Stark is supposedly dead. He said, hey, I've downloaded my consciousness into this other body, but, I just think I'm Tony Stark, but, real Tony Stark's died. While Arno Stark is taken over for him and is fighting the AI, guess you would say, coming invasion, which is being led by Machine Man. And I really like Machine Man, so I'm like, oh, I don't really like what they're doing with the character here. And then you think about Iron Man, supposedly being dead, or at least Tony Stark supposedly being dead. And you think, this has happened to pretty much every Marvel character at some point. Even Spider-Man, has been killed and brought back to life. And, it kind of, I don't know, if you think too much about it, it kind of bothers your head. And then the Black Cat Spider-Man one, I did enjoy that, because I'm a huge fan of the PS4 Spider-Man game, and it's kind of not a retelling, but it's talking about what's going on with the Heist DLC and showing some of other things like that kind of squicky scene, how they first met and they were immediately making out up on the roof. And so I was just like, yeah. So today I was, looking up what comics came out today, and I had a thought pop in my head. I'm a big fan of Adam Warren's Empowered. Now, normally I don't like manga style. Never really been into manga, and especially American artists that imitate a manga style. But for some reason, with Adam Warren, the story with Empowered is actually a pretty good story. You really get into the characters. And I was thinking, yeah, the volume 11 should be coming out sometime here. And well, for some reason, I was thinking it was coming out at the beginning of January. It immediately came out in October. And I'm like, oh man, I'm already a couple months behind on this. But, thanks to Amazon, I just did a one click buy, got it for like $10. It was on sale, got the digital. So I knew I had that waiting at home, waiting for me when I got home. So I went to the comic shop, and there was really only a few things I wanted to get. I haven't even talked about Captain Marvel yet. And I was looking around, and nothing was really just doing it for me. I pick up a few books. I've been getting some smaller books, like from Boom Studios, and yeah, I saw that Wonder Woman 750. And, it's a big anniversary issue, so I figured I'd pick it up and take a look at it. And so I actually just picked it up off the shelf and I was flipping through it, and then I realized it is $10. And like, it got me thinking about, the comics lately and how now that's a new thing. We're going to do this actually was at least square bound, but they're going to do $10 issues. And yeah, like I said, I'm not really into manga, but I have bought manga volumes for people before as gifts. And usually you get a big thick book for $10. Now, granted, it's in black and white, but still the return on investment, versus the cost is so much more. And now I know they say that some of the manga things just really drag the storyline along, but I think it depends from whatever manga you're reading. And so I was thinking $10. I'm not paying $10 for Wonder Woman 750. I'm not doing it. I'm putting my foot down. And so I find I'm getting a little bit more irritable, with the industry. And it's just so much crap and so much just blah. There's so little good out there right now. And even trying to go through some of the smaller titles, I'm not finding anything good. And I haven't even talked about this issue yet. Reason why is there's really not much to talk about. And also, the entire time that I was picking up issues, when I was reading this, when I was Um, what else was I already forgot what I was just reading. Picked up a few other books, and all I could think of when I got home was reading Empowered. I still haven't read it yet. I actually went through a couple pages. So, okay, technically a lie. I went through a few pages. But this is all I'm thinking about because I'm looking forward to this. I got it on sale for 10 bucks. And how many pages is that? 220 pages for 10 bucks. Now, granted, it was on sale normally, but still, I think normally around 20 bucks is what I paid for the other volumes. And still a pretty good deal. So about Captain Marvel, as you know, with this storyline, I really don't know how Kelly Thompson's still going on. This sounds like it'd be such a good storyline if you've been reading the issues. This mutated Kree dude named Vox um, is charging Carol. She has to kill the Avengers and bring them to her, or he's going to blow up a bunch of cities. So, he puts her in this suit, which is actually kind of cool. It's really given Kelly Thompson a chance to show an evil Captain Marvel, since we all pretty much know she's evil, right? We can all agree with that she's actually a bad guy, and she has been for some time. I'm not letting Civil War 2 slip by. I mean, she's still a bad guy as far as I'm concerned. And so now she's has to bring the Avengers to them, to Vox. I say them because he talks with different voices, and she's already beaten Thor. She's already beaten Iron Man. So, but it's taken her half a day to do this, and she still has 4 more Avengers to take down. And Vox points this out. But of course, she's not really killing them because what she is doing is, remember A-Force? She's hiding the Avengers, Thor and Iron Man, inside Singularity. And what she's doing is she's using clones, dead clones of the Avengers that Shield happened to have. Why? Why? Why do they have the clone bodies? And Tony brings it up that this is not a good idea to be handing over, identical clones, the DNA over to this mysterious bad guy. But are you perfectly okay that Shield has had them all this time? So yeah, it's like, okay, it's trying to be a clever way to get out of things. They even have Hawkeye when he's not even an Avenger anymore, and it's, I don't know, it's so kind of dumb. And I mean, look at it, they should be like full rotting, decomposing. And why are they naked? Couldn't they at least put some clothes on them? So yeah, she takes him to this Fox guy, and he berates her. That's taken too long. She still has 4 more Avengers to take down, uh, including She-Hulk, and she hasn't been doing a good job. He doesn't think she's going to make it. Maybe we should blow up another one of these cities. And Vox knows that she is up to something, and so then he goes out after it. She, I should say, been going easy on the Carl Manverse thing, goes out after Black Panther. But Black Panther had lured her out because he doesn't know this is actually Captain Marvel. And so she's trying to not shoot him with her photon blast and not give away who she is because she's got a big plan, and it's kind of a dumb plan. And Tony calls her out on it, and she's like, well, it's the best I can come up with. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I bought this cover. This is a variant cover because if you've watched my channel, you know I am a huge She-Hulk fan. She is one of my favorite characters. So I was really hoping that, this would be the issue where they would go at it. Especially, we still haven't gotten a good Civil War II resolution from her being injured, going into a coma, Bruce being killed, which a lot of this stems down to Carol's actions and that whole stupid precog thing. And so yeah, I stopped early because I just want to show off this last page. You see this and you may get excited, like, oh, okay, it's a different outfit, but they're putting it. Actually, she's wearing less clothes than she normally does. She's literally just in a metal bikini with some straps on her biceps and legs, and if you've been reading the Avengers books, you know how she looks these days. But you're thinking, well, maybe in this she'll look. No, let's show the last page. She really only appears on the last page. Well, her fist appears on that page, and you get this. Yeah. Why? Why are they even just make her a man at this point? She could be the first female to man transition comic book character. Well, I'm sure they've done that, but you know what I mean. The first big one that just says, "Okay, I'm actually a man." Just go with it. I don't even care anymore. I just this book is bland. It's a by the numbers kind of story. There's nothing new being brought to the table, and that's been the whole thing with the Captain Marvel series. Is that okay? They had the whole thing with Stark, but still, it doesn't really reflect well on Carol as a character, and they've spun Star out into her own series here, and yeah, that's all I got to say. I can't get excited about this some of these issues anymore. I just can't. It's like there's so much crap. It's not even the bad crap, which is why 2019 we saw the end of so many series like Maneaters, like Squirrel Girl, even Goddess Mode. Okay, well Goddess Mode, some of them are like so bad they're entertaining. Goddess Mode wasn't. It was just hurt the eyes. But some of them you at least knew going in. It's like okay, this is going to be hot garbage. Let's see how badly they're going to screw this up. And sometimes you're pleasantly surprised, like, oh yeah, I didn't think they'd screw it up that badly. But these are just not entertaining. I will tell you one other thing. I actually do happen to have things nearby. Um, because I haven't read it yet, I'm going to pull this out. It didn't come out today, which is why I didn't want to talk about it. But here's another one. I mentioned in a previous issue, a previous video, I saw an ad for this. This is a reprint of Star Wars number 50, the original Marvel series. And I remember loving this issue. Although I don't have mine anymore. I don't have my Star Wars comics. I don't know if they were the ones that got water damage or I lost in a move, but I remember the cover being a darker shade than this. I remember it being much darker. But yeah, I'm looking forward to rereading this. This classic issue. And yeah, even some of the ads, I mean, it just looks awesome. So yeah, I'm more excited to read a licensed property comic. From this was right after, I think if I recall correctly, that took place after Return of the Jedi. So you're going back 30 years. And I'm more excited to read that than a current offering. But to be honest, I'm more excited to be reading Empowered, which I really should cover that one of these days. I've read all the volumes, some of the side issues. I love that book, but it's a niche market because was recommended to me like, hey, you gotta check this out. But just make your way through the first volume. It gets better. And I almost dropped it after the first volume, and I kept going. I'm like, oh yeah, it really brings you in. So yeah, the current issues, and I'm more excited about everything else. So what would I give this issue? It was bland. I mean, it was by the numbers, but there was nothing I could really hate about it. Some of the art is kind of bad. Yeah, I talked about She-Hulk and how she just looked like a wall, but to be honest, where's that Thor panel? Thor doesn't look any better. I mean, look at some of this. It's just tiny head man is all he is. Tiny head man with no eye. So yeah, it's pages are laid out. I'm just gonna go 3 o'clock on it. I mean, I can't really go any better on this. It's just blah. I sound like the beginning of Baby Got Back. It's just blah. Oh my god. So yeah, this is me trying to push through the things I pick up anymore because everything is so mediocre. And that's where the industry is, and no one can figure out why things are dying, why the industry is dying. If the issues look like this cover, and I'm not even talking about the cat fight or the barely dressed She-Hulk, if they look like this cover, it would be more interesting. I've been trying not to show too much of this book, but let's take a one peek at the fight. And I'll go one page because I think I've done pretty well skipping it. You know, he shoots a rocket launcher, energy rocket launcher at her, and not quite sure what this is supposed to be here. I mean, obviously, it's her hair there and her face, and just blue energy. It's eh, 3 o'clock. That's the best I could do, and that's me being generous. That's me knowing I'm in a bad mood, so I'm gonna up my score a little bit to counteract it. Because I know otherwise I'm just gonna be really hard on it. So yeah, that's 3 o'clock. Hopefully, I'll be in a better mood. Maybe I'll get some sleep and check out some of the other stuff. We do have the Batman Curse of the White Knight, whatever. Is that issue 6 already? That might be issue 6. So we got a few issues that I'm looking forward to. But overall, everything's so blah these days. And it's really been hitting me these past few weeks. Maybe it's seasonal. Maybe it's just the industry. So anyway, if you made it through this, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.